So you want to become a data analyst, but do you know what we do every day? Forget the fancy job description. Today, I'll be explaining it step by step like no one does. Okay, just imagine this. You walked into the office and you look at the Excel sheet. Sales data were scattered everywhere. The marketing team is frustrated. Your CEO, oh, he's lost in the sea of numbers because numbers are flying everywhere, but he's not getting the results he wants. The impact he wants is not seen. The progress he wants is not coming forth. And you, as a data analyst, you walked in. Everybody is relying solely on you to analyze this data and give them the results. Then guess what? And you will look at these numbers. It wasn't making sense because at first it will not make sense to you. So relax, sit back. I'll take you step by step on how we do all of this today. So that was my recent experience. When I first started out, I had this beautiful image of data analysis. Like, just give me this data, and I assumed that this data will be so beautiful. I would just clean it, analyze it, I just put up the dashboard and explain to you through the storytelling what you want to hear. That's all I ever thought will happen. But when I started this job, it got messier, it got more difficult. Like, most times when you look at some of these data, you will just be lost because most times it will not make sense. So that is my reality of working as a data analyst. I know there are so many good side of it, but at the same time, there are so many, I won't really call it bad, but I'll call it challenging aspects of it because people who are frustrated, who are lost, are relying solely on you. And most of the time, you look at these things, they will not make sense to you. But like they say, when you start it, you find easy way around it. So when I started, my first project, when I was stuck in this mess of I wasn't making meaning of the numbers I was handed over to, that was when I realized that before I will start anything, like before I will make any move in trying to analyze this data and everything, I need to clean this data and get it ready for analysis. It's not just about starting your work. I need to clean and get ready for work. And I will be honest with you because here I'm telling you the truth, no fluff. I'm just telling you as it is what we do. Most of the time, what I do is cleaning my data and getting it ready for analysis because that is where the real work lies. That is where we do most of the job. And that is the messier part of this job. So my behind the scene is that I spend most of the time cleaning my data, arranging it and getting it ready for analysis. Because if it's a small data set and you're using Excel, and if you're a data analyst watching this, you understand what it's like to clean data with Excel. And even if you're cleaning with more automated tools like Power Query and Pandas, we all know that we still need to be careful when cleaning this data because when you run the wrong command, it will mess your data sets. Like it will mess it because when using pandas, we know that it is swift. It does the job easily, but you still need to give it the right command. When you have any error in the command, you messed up the whole work. Most of the time, how it starts, and in the middle, you get frustrated. You feel like you're shut out. These periods are the most challenging period for data analysts because any little mistake can jeopardize your result at the end of the day. So that's why you need to be very careful when getting your data ready for analysis. That is the most silent struggle that most data analysts go through, but they don't tell you about it. You just see the fancy job description, but getting your data ready for analysis is more messier than you can ever imagine. It is frustrating, it is demotivating, it can be any challenging thing you can think about. Immediately after this phase of challenges, trouble, and trying to figure out the best way to approach each and every step of it, there comes where you run your statistics. And this part, yes, that is where those fancy job description comes in. Because here, I'm not trying to say that it is not challenging on its own, but it's not going to get you lost like at the first time when you open the data set they sent to you to analyze. Here, you've actually made meaning of your data sets. You've mastered some words. At that point, you've corrected missing values. You've been able to remove duplicate entries. In fact, you've done most of the jobs. And now your data set is ready. And you looking at it, you've been familiar with it. Then in the analysis, no more challenges. Me personally, my own experience, I don't face more challenges in my analysis. And then visualization. Visualization is a bit tricky because me, when I want to visualize, I put myself in the shoes of my CEOs, the marketing manager, the sales manager also. How do I put this out? What is the best tool to use? Because we have so many data visualization tools. So when I want to do data visualization, I always pay attention to what these people will understand better. And then comes the storytelling part. So these are the parts I would say that it matches and it fits into the fancy job description. But that first part, oh, don't talk about it. It's messier than you can ever think about. It's messier. My first project feels very fresh in my head. I was trying to analyze this data for a small business though, and they actually operate just online. When I saw the whole figures, I was lost just as the CEO was lost. But I sat down, take a deep breath, and I started looking at it. In fact, for the first 30 minutes to 1 hour, I was trying to make meaning of the data sets that was handed over to me. At that point, I was like, I thought they said this job is very fancy. I thought they said this is the best job to do. So what is going on? What is happening? But I would say after the first 1 hour, it got better. Then I know what to do. I know exactly what to do. Even though I know that it's not going to be easy because this is like my first major project. Like that was my first client. So I know it will not be easy. But after some hours of trying to look at it, trying to pick out the things I need to do, it got easier. Then the next hour was cleaning it, and by the end of that day, I was able to get it ready for analysis. But it was so challenging because I had to work all night, but before morning, everything was ready. So the next day was when I saw that fancy description they told me in the beginning. But the first day, it was messy and like a disaster. From the second day, when I moved into the analysis part, it got better. I was now enjoying the whole process and all that. Then I did my data visualization, then coming to storytelling. And I sat down again. I thought about when I was communicating with these people, how did they sound? That gave me insight on how I can communicate my results, the terms I will use, because I can't use the data analysis terms. As a data analyst, I know that I will understand it, but then most of them are in marketing department, sales. The CEO does not have any background in tech. So these people needs my communication in terms that they will understand it. So I now thought of how to communicate these findings clearly. And the day that I was communicating this, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be because they were understanding everything I was saying. They were making meaning of it, looking at the dashboards and everything. It was actually a very wonderful experience, even though it was not easy from the beginning. But it's ended being a wonderful experience from my part. Yes. So next time you hear, I want to be a data analyst, I want to be a data analyst, it is not all that fancy. The beginning is not always so sweet. You will face so many challenges, so many roadblocks with your data set. I will keep emphasizing with your data sets because on a daily, on monthly, just depending on the kind of job you're doing at the time, you will meet different data sets. So that is where your challenges come from. Trying to figure out how to use this data set, trying to figure out how to clean it and get it ready for analysis. Those are the places you find challenges, but you just have to be calm. So this is about understanding the heartbeat of how businesses works and how you can make it easier for yourself as a data analyst. So this is me bringing to the awareness that it is not always rosy. No, you face roadblocks, you face challenges, you face confusion, you face being lost, but with time it gets better. Because when you work with this data set, in fact, when you work with 10 different types of data sets, most of the time you still meet that type. And because you've experienced it, because you've navigated through it, you will still find your way on how to navigate through it. And this time better and not harder. Because that is like second or third or fourth experience. So here you have it. You wanting to become a data analyst should always come with the mind that there will be challenges and not just the fancy job description. So if you found this video helpful, do well to subscribe to my channel, like, and share to someone who might be needing to hear this. Until I see you next time, my name is Chimanwosu. Bye.